Hey guys, we're about to start the podcast, but before we do, we wanted to give a huge shout out to Ricky, Brett, Joe, and Aquila, otherwise known as More Better Band.
Yeah, they won the Sugar Shack Battle of the Bands.
They did win the Sugar Shack Battle of the Bands.
Awesome.
Yep.
Nice one.
So anyways, congratulations, guys. Very well deserved. On to bigger and better things.
We have one very high quality clap for you for that. 3, 2, oh.
Take a fantasy, it's what we're doing. Come and check it out, it's what we're all about.
561 Music! Welcome to 561 Music, aka Killbillies Hour. And we have the wonderful James with us today. How's it going, fella?
It's great.
Excellent.
I had a fun weekend.
Yeah.
I thought his name was Marty. Marty.
So this is Hector. This is Hector Thundergoose Diaz. And my name is Ben of the Babyface Childs.
Of the baby face.
And yeah, we're going to tell you about what happened this weekend because
it's hard to believe.
Brian Thomas didn't show up, so that's great. So we're going to do something without him instead.
Okay.
What we're going to do is talk about Chalktoberfest 2025. So, where were you when you first heard that Chalktoberfest 2025 was going to happen?
I don't remember.
I'm going to take a guess. He was pooping.
It was probably.
That's a fact.
If it was morning, it was probable.
It was probable.
So, you've probably known about it for the longest, being a chalker.
I knew about Chalktoberfest 2025 way back in like 2014.
So that's fair. So the cool thing about Chalktoberfest, I can't say it. Chalktoberfest is what I keep saying. Anyway, Chalktoberfest. The cool thing about it is that we get to do art and music. It is an art festival, a street art festival, but they like our band, so we played 2 times, and then we did a big chalk piece.
Yeah. So the reason it's called Chalktoberfest, other than the obvious that there's chalk art, and it takes place in October. There's also, it's a 2-day festival, and they have the chalk art, they have music, takes place in October, but over the 2 days, for the Saturday portion of it, there's an extra road that's closed, and they set up, I want to say it was like 30 breweries or something, 20, 30 breweries, and you can buy a ticket to sample all the craft beer from these breweries, these local breweries.
Sweetwater was there?
Yeah, Sweetwater, some of those other ones.
Jinx.
And so because of it, because there's beer and it takes place in October and it's a chalk festival, hence Chalktoberfest. So that's how that all came about. And yeah.
Have they always done that? Has that always been?
They added the beer component a few years back. I can't remember exactly how far back. I don't know if it was pre-COVID or post-COVID, but they did add the beer component after the fact. The first several years, for sure, they did not have it.
So viewers of this podcast may remember a guy who dressed as a hobbit for us running around at DragonCon.
Correct.
Now, this guy, he is called Zach, and he's a total legend, and he's also a chalk artist.
He is a chalk artist, yeah.
Boss of bosses.
Yeah, that's how we know him from Hector's Friends in Chalk.
Yeah, him and his wife Jessie actually. So in Florida, there's the Florida Chalk Art Association, is what it used to be called. Now it's called the Chalk Art Nation Association or something. And the reason we changed it is because it used to be just Florida chalk artists. There was a lot of chalk artists from around the U.S. that wanted to join, and so we kind of became like a larger organization.
Oh, cool.
I say we because I've been involved with them for a really long time,
right.
and so. Zach and Jesse decided that they wanted to do something similar for the Georgia artists, so they actually started the Georgia Chalk Guild, and
cool.
I love that they call it Guild.
Yes,
it's the Georgia Chalk Guild, and so they started that, and they put on all sorts of like smaller little pop-up events everywhere, and get local artists involved and stuff and get them paid, which is amazing. It's kind of like, if you will, it's the 561 music version of chalk in Georgia. They get local artists involved and they get them paid.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah.
Maybe we should. Oh no, there already is one. There
is one. Yeah, there's Florida one.
We'll just join it if they'll have me. They won't have me. So we did
created monsters here.
We did an amazing We did an amazing piece. I was just honored to be a part of it. It was like a big 3D enterprise flying out of one of those floating space dock things, wasn't it?
Yeah. So
Dyson sphere.
Yeah,
the Dyson sphere. So it started. It was technically just a nebula that happened to have an Enterprise next to it. I just want to put that out there. It was an amazing nebula. James did the nebula, and it was absolutely stunning.
He did the nebulae.
It was stunning. It was stunning. Yeah. So the very first time you guys did something with me like this was 2 years ago. Yeah. And I'm sure as you guys
for this one, right?
It was for this exact one.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you guys, you guys recall, but for you guys out there listening or watching, I used to do the chalk art stuff all the time to the point that I think 2019 was my biggest year, and I think I did like 40 pieces that year or something ridiculous. And some were festivals, some were paid pieces, et cetera, corporate pieces and stuff. Then 2020 happened. Yeah, 2020 happened. The world exploded. There was nothing, no gatherings, et cetera. And so I kind of reinvented myself, and that's when I did the photography thing. Fast forward, I joined Killbillies. Killbillies was getting very popular, very busy. And it was hard for me to pull myself away from a good paying gig weekend to go do a festival to make a few bucks. Especially because, as I was telling James on the way home, that, every time I pulled myself away from Killbillies for a weekend, it wasn't just me, it was affecting all of us. Yeah. And so it was making me feel bad. And I was starting to pull back more and more and more on the chalk festivals. And it got to where I've only been doing like one piece, maybe two pieces a year for the last few years. Occasionally I'd do a paid canvas piece, but for the most part, the chalk festivals, it was one, occasionally two. So somewhere along the way, the Chalktoberfest people, Sally, actually the director of the Chalktoberfest.
Yeah, big up Sally.
Yeah, she absolutely loves me, and she was like reaching out, and why aren't you coming to our festival? This is 2 years ago. So 3 festivals ago, 2 years ago. And she said, why aren't you coming to my festival? I really want you here. Why didn't you apply? And I said, oh, well, I kind of have a, tour with the Killbillies. Where's the tour? And I said, oh, it's in the Southeast. Well, route it through here. And I thought, it never occurred to me that some of these bigger festivals have music. Yeah. And even the smaller ones that don't have pubs in the area.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it never
is in town.
Yeah. It never occurred to me that I don't have to sacrifice Billies if I bring the Billies with me.
Yeah, totally.
So that's what we did, man. We were on tour and we stopped there and we did it, and we chalked. And so for that first piece that you guys did with me, if you recall, was the biplane. Yep. Yeah. And I kept it really simple. It wasn't overly huge, and it was really simple and very, very little shading. It was a lot of like solid color stuff and whatever. And I kept it simple just because it was you guys' first piece with me. But we knocked it out of the park, and it was fun, and we played some music. We played at a local place there. We played on the main stage in like midday Saturday or something, or midday Sunday. And we had fun, man. It was great. And that just kind of got the ball rolling. And so
no, absolutely.
Yeah. So
and then after that, we did another one together, and then we did one where we all did separate pieces, which was
this last January. There was a small festival that I do called Art Lit, and it's because it's literature based. And
that's not why James thought it was called that.
I didn't at all.
James said not.
He said it's Art Lit. We should all do it. And I was like, I'm in.
And James said,
I was like, literature. I'm like, oh.
So the nice thing about that one is a short 1 day festival. It was actually a 6-hour festival, which is ridiculous.
I think that made it more stressful. I'm just going to say.
It was very stressful.
If I would have had 2 days to marinate on it.
But they were small, 4 foot by 4 foot. Yes, that is a small street painting. There were 4 foot by 4 foot paintings, and you guys each got to do your own pieces.
Yeah. And that was a big point for me, because on the other side, I was absolutely wetting myself. I was worried about it, but on the other side of it, I'm like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
I'll be okay. You know what I mean?
Well, it was nice because the big 3Ds, we tend to paint them with tempera paint, because the tempera paint, although it washes away as just about as easily as the chalk, it dries to the touch. So when people are doing interactive pieces and they're stepping and touching it and whatever, it's not getting on their clothes. If it's chalk, it would get all over everything. So those particular pieces, because they were small, not interactive, not 3D, you guys were able to do them in chalk, and so
Yeah.
that was kind of cool.
Super fun.
Yeah.
It made it more fun altogether.
Yeah.
Baptism of fire.
Yeah.
I know. He's like, I signed you up for this chalk thing. I figured you'd be cool with it. And not only is it like a thing, but it's not in the medium we've worked with at all.
Right.
Yeah. I was like, yay.
Well, you guys had done 3 pieces with me at that point. You had done Chalktoberfest, you had done Arbor Lakes in Minnesota, and you had done Sauk Center in northern Minnesota. I think it was.
That's right.
And so you guys had done the 3 pieces, and at all 3 we played music, which was awesome.
Super fun. Made a whole tour out of the one.
Yeah, we did the Broward one, which of course we didn't have to worry about it because we played a gig that night, as a matter of fact. Locally, so that wasn't a big deal, and so you guys chalked at that one. Then I had the. In February, James helped me out with the
Hassle.
Yeah, I was waiting for that. That's right. James, because Ben wasn't available. Actually, I never asked him. James helped me out with the piece that I did in Lake Worth,
The Ninja Turtles.
and then it was turned out pretty good. And then that had a little bit more detail and stuff in it. And then, actually, you helped me at Lake Worth last year as well too, didn't you? With the because you had Ollie in town and you couldn't help us.
Yeah, that's right.
And so you
we did
helped
Mario
me out.
that time,
Yeah,
the
you did
Mario Kart.
You
Yeah,
did
that's
Mario.
right.
Yeah,
That was fun.
So and actually, come to think of it, that was the confusion because the lady sent me the thing and it already had James's name on it, and I never even thought to it just worked out that way. But,
Yeah.
but anyways,
Asshole.
I'm going to come to this one. You won't be able to. Even if you don't tell me about
He
it.
already booked himself off. He's just going to be there waiting in the square.
I actually got
waiting.
the application on the way home in the van. The lady
Yes.
called me and she sent me the application, and I already put both your names on.
Oh,
As a matter of fact, I put Ben's first, so he doesn't get butthurt.
Nice.
So yeah. So anyways, fast forward. Now we're on the way home. Or actually, I mean, we got to this festival. Let's talk about this festival a little bit. We got to this Chalktoberfest, and you guys decided actually that we should do an enterprise.
Yeah.
And I said, that's a little complicated. And you guys said, no, let's do it. It'll be fun. And I thought, well, fuck it. Let's do it.
In
It was a lot of
defense,
work.
An enterprise by itself, not particularly tough.
Yeah.
The space dock and Enterprise.
Well, check it
taking
out.
up the
I'm putting it up right now.
entire 20
Okay.
by 10 thing.
Full disclosure. And next time you see all these artists that you guys have now come to meet and become friends with or whatever, next time you ask them what is my number one, before you guys were helping me out and stuff, what was my number one problem or fault when doing chalk? And they're going to tell you that I can't chalk small. Like everything I do is huge. It's 20, 30, 40 feet, whatever it is. I don't know how to chalk small, especially 3D. And B, I tend to take the simplest of ideas. Like Bridget will come to me. Bridget's one of the chalk artists, and she's a sweetheart. Lives out of Tampa.
She's
lives in Tampa. She'll come to me with an idea. You should do this. And I'm like, wow, that's genius. Let me design that. And then I design it, but like escalate it 10 more steps. I overcomplicate all the chalk pieces. So when you guys said Enterprise, I was like, yes, Enterprise. But let's throw in a space dock.
And 2 nebulae.
And 2 nebulae. And a planet.
Tell everyone about the skewing situation.
So this one was a little bit more complicated than some of the other ones. Typically, when you're doing a 3D piece, it either goes into the ground or it comes up off the ground. And so you have certain way that you skew things to make it look like the hole in the ground 3D that everybody sees, or you have other ways of skewing and distorting the image to make it look like it's standing up off the ground. And when I say distorting and stuff, it's basically it's not as it seems. The way you're photographing it and you're looking at it and everything's vertical and straight and whatever. When you look at it on the ground, it's all fanned out and stretched out, really crazy,
really awkward.
And Ben, I'll give Ben some examples to show you guys the difference in what we did versus what the actual piece turned out to be.
Yeah, you've got that one where you walked around it, haven't you? We'll put that up now.
Got the video, but the thing is, if you do something, even if it's 3D, but if it's flat, and by flat I mean like think of a manhole cover. At the end of the day, a manhole cover is a round thing on the ground. It's 3-dimensional, but it's a round thing on the ground. So if you were to draw a manhole cover and you wanted it to look like you were looking through a camera at a manhole cover, you'd actually have to draw it the exact same way you would see it in real life. You would have to draw it as an actual circle on the ground so that when you step back with the camera, it skews it in such a way that it looks like an actual one on the ground, as opposed to if you stretched it, then it would look wonky. So in this particular image, we had the space dock with space and everything going down into the space dock. We had the actual space dock, which is the surface of it, which was flat on the ground. And then
the lip was a bit skewed, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then we had...
a lot skewed.
Yeah, and then we had the Enterprise, which was above.
Nothing above. So,
there
one
was
going down.
So there was three...
center,
there was 3 sets of skewing on this. So at some point, and I think I texted you guys at like 8 o'clock at night heading home the night before we left, and I go, so I've taken the Enterprise idea, and I think I have this crazy cool idea, just bear with me. And then I started sending you guys ideas, and then after I sent it to you, I'm like, what the hell was I thinking? But it was fine. It was fine. It worked out.
It was awesome. It looked amazing at the end.
People were really, really nice about it.
Yeah, it was one of the, of all the images that we've done together, it was one of the ones that really popped amazingly. The background, everything, it was a lot of flat gray. Yeah. But the whole thing popped because there was cool colors in it that made the whole thing really cool, like fun. There was a lot of distortion. What is it?
Skewage.
No, like
blending,
rust and stuff like that. And distress.
Yeah.
There's a lot of distress on all the the parts in the space dock and stuff,
Patina,
which that was really, really cool.
But it's crazy because there was a lot of, at the end of the day, nobody, that was a creation for my head. Nobody knows what that space dock is supposed to look like. Yeah. So you kind of take liberties with it when you're there. And I mean, it's crazy when, and I see you guys experience it, and I'm 30 years chalking and I still experience it. You're just slogging color. You're like, this is green, this is blue, this block is this block is that. And then you step back and go, oh crap, it's an image.
Yeah, it was because when you get deep in it, you're like, this isn't working. And then you stand up, you're like,
well, it's a 20-foot painting, and you're doing this big block of blue or gray or black or whatever, and it's like, and then you step back and go, oh, but there it is. That's a button or a hole or whatever.
Well, and the image is so skewed, so when you're working in certain areas of it, it's like really messy. Yeah. And you're like the like things that are supposed to be round aren't round, and there's like wobbles and stuff that are weird. So you're trying to shade these things and try and figure them out, and you're like, but it doesn't make 100% sense because it's weird. And then you step back and go,
and there's all that worry.
Fits.
There's all that worry that you drew it on the ground wrong,
right? Like it was you put it on there wrong, and it was all weird and wonky, and
then it turns out no.
And you're fighting that the whole time, kind of thing.
Yeah, because your brain's telling you it's wrong.
Yeah. Because you're looking at it and it looks wrong. Because it does. If you look at the picture that they have, that I'm sure they'll show pictures and video, when you look at it the other way, it looks messed up and weird.
Well, because the further you get out from the bottom of the painting, the further you get out. So the bottom of the painting or the front of the painting is the bottom, and the back of the painting is the top, essentially. Yeah. And so the further you get out from the camera, the further you get out from the bottom edge of that painting or the front edge of that painting, the deeper and wider things have to be in order.
So much as well.
Right. So something that's like an inch across the front in the back is like 2 feet. Yeah. But in the camera, it looks like it's the same 1 inch as the front. It's crazy.
I worked on the lip, which in the image is like an inch.
Yeah.
And it was like 2 foot by 4 foot kind of thing. Like or 4 foot deep kind of thing. It was massively deep. And
it was almost a quarter of that painting.
He's like, dude, you don't understand the amount of detail you're getting in something that is like this small.
And that was the part that you were working on. There was still more to that you moved over to that engine piece and I started coming down.
The bottom part of it.
That entire section was about 8 to 10 feet. It was almost half the painting. The painting was 20 feet. That entire section was 8 to 10 feet. It was the back. It was the back lip
and fall down.
Yeah. No, it's crazy.
Nothing.
And Ben will put some pictures up so you guys can see what we're talking about.
It was Lando Gray.
Yeah, it's bananas.
Yeah. So at the festival, there was a ton of other artists there. Are there any artists that you've known for a long time that you want to shout out, or the artists you like their stuff?
I mean, there's a lot of them that I've been friends with for a long time. Eric, he did the Bulldog one.
That's cool.
The Bulldog one was awesome. That's the Chalk Dad.
Chalking Dad.
I like his stuff. His stuff's fun.
And Jen did. She did the guy with
the girl with
mouse
the,
on his shoulder.
Mouse on her shoulder. I gave her a hard time. I love you, Jen, if you're watching this, but I gave her a hard time because she always does portraits of girls with like a little furry animal or something.
Oh, I get it.
And
they're fun.
And I walked up and I go, "What are you doing?" And she had it sketched out, and I go, "Oh, I see you stepped out of your comfort zone. And you're doing a little girl with a fuzzy animal." But I love you, Jen.
And then next to us,
you're an
we
amazing
had,
artist.
Was it Brian?
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
And he was doing Back to the Future piece.
Brian Morris. He's from
just
Studio
amazing.
M Art here in Florida. I think he's like in the Tampa area or something. He was doing Back to the Future, and
The
very
entire
sensual
time,
Back to
every
the
time I
Future.
looked over at him, I just couldn't help myself, and I was like, "Marty!"
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
just had to get him, and he was laughing the whole time. It was just fantastic.
And if you look very closely in our spaceport, in the back wall of the spaceport, there is a flux capacitor. Just because we were next to the Back to the
Just
Future
for you,
piece.
buddy.
Yeah, we had to.
Yeah, it had to power the whole space station with it.
Every spaceport in Star Trek is powered by a flux capacitor.
That's what I thought.
yeah, there's got to be at least one somewhere along the line.
Right,
Yeah,
sorry.
like it's kind of like it's a flux capacitor. They have to have capacitors.
Exactly. And flux.
How do you have
ones.
how do you have
flux.
electronics without capacitor?
or flux.
So yeah, as you can tell, we had a really, really good time. It's just so, I don't know what it is. You're outside. It's like freeing somehow.
Yeah.
And you're doing this artistic thing and you're all in it together. There's so many people you know there and it's good vibes.
Yeah, and you get to like
Everybody's so
hyper
helpful.
focus on this like thing and get out of your world for a little while.
Yeah.
The thing that really spun me out the first time I did it, but I'm used to it now, is everyone comes and puts so much effort in and then you just wash it away on the last day. And and there's something about that I like.
It's amazing.
just
I
a
think that's the
fleeting
best
moment
part
of
of
time.
it.
So the first few street
Yeah.
paintings I did, because I started out in Lake Worth, literally the second year Lake Worth started doing their festival. And the first few festivals I did, I would come back because Lake Worth doesn't wash it away. They let it fade away. But they do open the streets on Sunday at like 6 p.m. or something like that. The cars all start driving over it. And that just hurt my heart, you know?
Yeah.
And so for the first few years, I would come back like almost daily and just check on my piece, like, oh, it's a little more
Like a
faded. It's
serial
a little
killer.
more faded away. Yeah, it was crazy, dude. I was so sad about it. But no, you get used to it, and people ask you that question. You know, they're like, you know, how do you put all this effort into something that you know is going to go away? And I think one of my buddies, Nate, I don't know if you guys have ever met him before. He's hands down one of the best street painting artists in the world. And Nate put it best one time. He said, you know, it's a very ephemeral piece of artwork. And yes, you can take pictures. And of course, we all want to take pictures to immortalize it, et cetera, et cetera. But it's not that the pictures don't do it justice. It's just that not experiencing it in the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, experiencing it in the moment rather is part of it.
Yeah.
And if you don't experience it in the moment, it's gone. And all you have is a picture, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But the picture is different.
Yeah.
Seeing it in person is a completely different, animal than,
Yeah.
It really is.
than the photos.
It really
Yeah.
is. You get to see these people like put their hearts and souls into these things, and the images are beautiful. And like,
Yeah.
no matter what they do, all the people that were there, every one of them. This one really, especially,
all over
there was
the world.
there was amazing pieces from everybody. Everybody really brought like amazing game. To
Yeah, there was people there from all over the United States, all the way from California to Florida,
Holland,
there
boys
was
in
people-
Mexico.
There was guys, a bunch of artists
Viva.
from Mexico. There was Holland, Netherlands.
Yeah.
There was a guy from the Ukraine that's there quite a bit, and I mean, just all over.
Yeah,
all over.
totally. Were there any people from Colombia this time?
No. There's,
my boy Sergio wasn't there.
No, there's a couple. Sergio and another guy that sometimes come out. They didn't make it this year, but I think they're going to try to come to a couple of festivals.
You better
next
be at
year.
Lake Worth.
Yeah,
Sergio.
I'm trying to get him into it, because the quite honestly, the flight from Colombia is cheaper than the flight from California, so there's no reason he shouldn't be there. But yeah, so As far as the music side of it, you know, we played Friday night at a place called the Third Door.
Yeah.
We played there before though. We've like a couple times now.
Played there 3 times now.
Yeah, like a really fun little place right on the outside, like on the main strip. People will get to walk by.
If you're ever in Marietta, guys, go to the Third Door for an evening. You can spend the whole evening there. It's a restaurant, but it's also a bar. They have stuff like happening.
Yeah.
It's such a nice vibe, like indoor, outdoor, kind of boho, but not like too much.
And they have like a little bit of everything. They've got, you know, our music, but like before us were these 2 kids just jazzing it out, just slaying it, having a good time. Like just playing some amazing noodles that I loved.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I would say they have definitely a little bit of everything, and it's just a good vibe there, man. They have a really cool. It's a narrow stage, or not narrow, but shallow stage, if you will, kind of wide, and but it's cool. It's against like a mechanic shop or something wall. It's like the next building, I love playing there.
Yeah, it's always been fun.
Yeah, we had a bunch of people come out for that, and then we had my friend Ruben Poncia from Mexico. He came in.
Yeah.
He was originally from Holland. Yeah, he's originally from Holland, moved to Mexico. He's there now.
Yeah.
And he came up and played some sick ass harmonica.
He was really good.
He tore
That
it
was
up.
fun. He did. He really owned it. He came up there like a boss.
Yeah. Well, I've heard him play guitar, acoustic guitar and stuff at some of the other festivals where we just sit in the lobby and like jam out at the hotel. And I was walking past him the first night, and he was setting up his spot. And I was joking around with him. He said, "Oh, you know, did you bring the band?" I said, "Yeah." And I said, "Did you bring your guitar?" And he said, "No, but I brought my harmonica." And I said, "Enough said." So I told Ben, I was like, "Hey, we're gonna have my friend Ruben." You know, I said, "Trust me, if he plays the harmonica even half as good as he plays the guitar,
Is he really good at the guitar too?
Yeah, he's really good at the guitar.
Oh, that's super cool.
Yeah.
He was asking me about guitar. It all makes sense now.
Yeah, he's a really good guitarist.
He said I had a crispy tone. I don't know if that's a good or a bad.
I think it's a good
tasty tone.
Yeah, but no, super
Oh my God, the tone.
I know.
The guy, there was
My kingdom for the tone.
There was a band setting up one of the days that we were talking. I guess it was Saturday.
Yeah.
And the bass player, and I'm a bass player, spent, I would say, 15 to 20 minutes perfecting his tone.
Yeah.
He dialed in his tone. Ask Brian, Marty, that the tone, he played different songs, changed it, went through, and it was just like, well, this guy, I was like, will this guy ever shut up?
I know.
It was brutal. It was brutal.
Totally.
Nobody else was doing anything, and he was just noodling, playing different songs on bass. It was such a like, don't do this. If you're watching this and you're a musician, don't be that guy. Don't
The
be
really,
that
really
guy.
long sound check guy is the worst guy.
Yeah.
Don't be that guy.
Like, if you can't get your tone nailed down in 2 seconds on a rig or your rig, you're an idiot.
Dude,
you don't know your stuff. Know your stuff. Look at your rig. Do it.
Dude, I plug in, and as long as it's not feeding back, I'm happy.
Right?
Like, sweet.
Yeah, which is easier said than done with a stand-up.
If you're
It
that
is.
picky about it, then bring your own setup.
Sure.
Yeah.
And bring your own way to make any amp sound good. Because in the end, flatten out any amp, put your pedals up to it, or bring your own little amp and setup, and you are good to go. You should be able to have your sound if you're that picky.
Yeah.
Totally.
And then speaking of the main stage, we headlined on Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah, we played 3 to 5 on Saturday, and that was fun, man. It was a huge crowd there.
Yeah, everyone was really nice to us. We got them all
Huge
cheering.
crowd. Huge crowd.
Yeah,
Like,
there's
was
a
really
funny
excited.
40.
There's a funny thing about when you play gigs like that is you're required to go like having a good time, and everyone goes yeah, and you go oh loud, like I can't hear you, and everyone has to do it louder again. But the thing is, they want you to do that. You got to do that.
Yeah, they crave it.
I think
It's hysterical, and if you question them again, they like it even more.
I know. Yeah.
Like, that still wasn't good enough, and they're like,
Yeah.
Totally.
And shout out to Zach, man. Both, Friday and Saturday. Friday we were playing, and Zach says, "Hand me your phone." I thought he was going to videotape, and instead he sat at our merch table. So Zach actually, when we were at Dragon Con about 6 weeks ago, Zach manned our merch table with his sister, and they took care of all our merch table problems and everything, and selling everything while we were performing.
Yeah.
So then this time he just jumped up and I said, Zach, you don't have to do that, man. And he goes, "No, I like it. I like doing it." Okay.
he does. He enjoys the whole thing of it. I think
He's a personable guy.
Yeah.
I said we got to bring Zach on tour with us.
Yeah,
man.
he's an
a
amazing
merch guy.
person.
Be a merch guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just like a bundle of fun, that guy. Love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, but then Saturday we played on that main stage, and that was fun, man.
Yeah.
And there was a turkey.
There was a turkey. There was a man leading a turkey
A
around.
kid, not a man, a kid. He was like 12 years old, and he would just grab it by his tail and just like pull it to like direct it a little bit. And it was huge.
And as Hector very rightly corrected me, there was a man with a lorikeet, or lorry, as I found out some people call them.
A lorry, which confuses Ben because a lorry in England is a semi-truck,
Choo-choo.
which would be weird for a man to be walking around with a semi-truck on his shoulder.
Yeah, exactly. But I tell you what, there were some characters out. There really were. There was a goth lady with one of those cool black umbrellas walking around.
Parasols.
The parasol. We need one for Ben.
The parasol.
Yeah.
We will need one for
We needed one for Ben for this because
Yeah, I
he
was
was burning
roasting.
out there. The second day, the weather was so nice that we didn't really feel like it was that hot, and we were out there and just incinerating. And
Roasting.
like, yeah, and I was, like, even I was like, oh, we should have put some stuff on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So on the way home, like we've all decided to do like way more chalk next year.
Okay, so on the way, wait.
When you say we,
Wait.
it was really me and James because you were sleeping in the back seat.
And I know
I
that
tuned
there's
in
a
every now and
video of this, so they're going to play it now.
And now you're obligated to insert this video.
I probably tuned in.
You
I
haven't
tuned
seen
in
the
for some of
video.
the
You
sweet
haven't seen
pieces.
You haven't seen the video, but when I give it to you, now that we've said now,
You're gonna
you have to
cry.
insert it.
It's fine. I have no shame. It's fine.
So James and I were discussing on the way home. James was expressing his appreciation, much as you had already done earlier in the day, and James was expressing his appreciation for me bringing you guys into my world, if you will, into my art world, and which is always a little funny because you have this group of friends and this group of friends, and you want to mix them all together, but then you're hesitant because if something goes wrong, you fucked it all up.
Yeah, and we're weird.
And these guys are weird.
Like
These guys are
we're weird. To
But
bring
so are-
us around
But
a
so
crowd
are
of
my
people
art
of your
friends.
friends.
So are my art friends. So it worked out perfectly.
absolutely.
That's the beauty of it.
So, but yeah, so I introduced these guys to chalking, and so I was talking to James, and I said, I've been wanting to step it up again and do some more. I don't need to do 40, paintings a year, but I'd like to do more than one or two. I'd like to do maybe 5, 6, or whatever, something like that. And especially festivals, because that's where I get to see my friends from all over the world that I don't get to see except at these festivals.
Yeah.
And so I was talking to James, and I said, that one we did in January where you guys did your own pieces, I'm sure she's going to do that again. I am 100%.
By the way, I was awake for all of this, but
and 100% positive. I love that he has to make sure that
It's
everyone
true.
knows that he's awake.
For this part, he was awake.
He was
For
awake.
that little part of it.
Yeah.
For that sliver.
But she, I am 100% sure that I'll get you guys a spot in that again. So that is in January. I was thinking that in February we would do Lake Worth, and that was going to be 2, and then Chalktoberfest again next year, which she's already said, you're in. She wants us to play music and do the thing again.
that's in October.
So
just in case
that's
you
in
weren't
October, yeah. So that's the 3, yeah. That's the 3. But then I started thinking about it, and I was like, one of my art friends, Janet, had asked if I was available to do something in February. She had a small festival, and gave me all the details and whatever. And so I sent her a message while we were in the car, and I said, hey, so it's hard for me to get away and do these things when the band's not with me. But if the guys can come and do pieces as well, then I could also get a gig in the area. And this happens to be in Orlando, so it's not a far stretch for us. So I can also get a gig in the area. It gives Killbillies a little farther stretch within Florida, but then the guys get to do, chalk pieces. Mm-hmm. And she says, give me your email. I'll send you the application. You guys, let's do it. And then,
That's Janet, right?
That was Janet.
Damn it, Janet.
So then I started thinking about it, and I said, one of the ones that I used to have a lot of fun at, and it's a small festival here in Florida, but I just loved it, and I loved it. It was just a small select few artists, but it was just so much fun. Is over in Safety Harbor, Florida, little coastal town over there on the other side.
On the other side.
It's like a 3-hour drive from here.
Cool.
And so I haven't been able to do that one since Killbillies.
Yeah.
Because since 2021, so 4 years I haven't done it now.
Yeah.
Because it's always St. Patrick's Day weekend.
Right.
And that's our big dollar weekend for the weekend or for the year. And so I haven't been able to do it in 4 years. While I was on the way home and I was talking to Bridget and saying, I want to do some more festivals. Can you suggest some other ones maybe that I haven't thought of? And she said, because St. Patrick's Day is on a Tuesday this year, the Safety Harbor one is not St. Patrick's Day weekend prior to St. Patrick's Day. It's actually the following weekend.
That's amazing.
So I sent out a message to the two organizers and I said, hey, and I, explained the situation. I want to bring my bandmates. I want to play some shows in the area. I would love to come back to your festival. And asked James, she came back within like 3 minutes and she's like, we would love. I think it said love 5 times in the message. Love to have you back. That's absolutely amazing. And we will do everything we can to help you guys get gigs in the area.
Super cool.
So that was, I was stoked about that. So that application will be coming out soon. So we'll be doing that one too. So 5 pieces next year.
Yeah. Rock and
so far.
So it's really like it's a path that has never been trodden. We're sort of spearheading this new way
becoming
to play.
the official band of chalk festivals everywhere.
Totally, yeah.
Slowly but surely taking over the chalk festival.
Hopefully cons as well, sci-fi and fantasy cons. If we can just play all that kind of stuff, then we get to go to a cool thing and play it. It's like mixing two things together. It's the best.
But then we'll never be home.
Well,
yay! I mean, we'll never be home. We'll never be home.
We'll figure out a way to be home once in a blue moon. It'll be fine.
It's fine.
Anyway, that's it. Basically, that's what we did this weekend. And if you're curious about it, all the details will be in the show notes. Do us a favor, subscribe to this podcast on YouTube. It really, really helps us. And you can also like it as well. It's a different thing. Do that too. And keep watching. Next week, we're going to have another local band on. But for this week, we just thought we'd treat you to some Killbillies chalk adventures. So, all right. I'll be seeing you later. Where are we playing this weekend? We got anything happening?
Yeah, we're playing at a new place, Brick Alley Tavern. Brick Alley Tavern.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
It's on Lake Worth Road, just east of Turnpike, I believe, in a plaza just east. Just before you get heading west, it's just before Turnpike. Yeah.
Does that mean it's near the taco stand?
It is very near.
It is so near the taco stand. Yes, we're getting tacos.
Oh, those tacos are amazing.
And then Saturday we're playing at Das.
Yep, Das is in Abacoa, and it's one of the best places we play. It's always 100%. Good.
Are they doing an Oktoberfesty thing for that as well, or?
I think it's just regular.
Just regular. Yeah, I don't know. Well, they usually had those events in Abacoa.
As luck would have it, they're doing a chalk festival.
No,
we're gonna just like chalk on the.
As luck would have it, we're all wearing lederhosen. And then Sunday, Bomb the Algorithm is going to be playing at the Abra.
That's right,
in Melbourne.
Yeah, so that's going to be a fun trek out to Melbourne. If any one of you guys is up in Melbourne Sunday night, let's go for some ska punk action.
Let's do it.
Yeah, all right. Well,
Sunday.
Thanks for coming in, James.
Hi, Leo.
Short notice.
I know. I messaged James and I'm like, I need you here. 15 minutes, no questions.
Yeah, and he was like,
and I was like, I'm pooping. I'll be there.
True story.
That's true story. All right. See you later. Peace.
Oasis Root Carver Bar is in Seagrape Square on Indian Town Road, and it is a carver bar. If you don't know anything about carver, it's a Polynesian root that you grind up and you mix with water, and it has been in Polynesia for potentially thousands of years. It's an old thing that they used for kind of ceremonial and also sort of leisure purposes. It's meant to be something where, that brings people together. You all take a shell of carver and chink them together and say bula and have it together like that. It's meant to be something to bring people together. It has a kind of an effect, which is, I guess, a kind of a slightly warming effect. It just kind of makes you feel nice. It's not particularly intoxicating. It's not like drinking alcohol. So the atmosphere in a carver bar is sort of like a cross between a regular bar and a coffee house. It's pretty chill in there. You get all sorts of different types of carver bars. Some of them are more like a club, there's sort of like blacklight and EDM playing. And some of them are more like a cafe. This is one of the cafe type of ones. It's super chill in there. If you're looking for somewhere to, I don't know, maybe go and do some work on your laptop or go and have a chat with friends, it's perfect for that kind of thing. There's a foosball table in there if that's your jam, or baby-foot as they call it in France. Yeah, Jim, the owner, is a really cool guy, and he has very kindly sponsored our podcast. So thank Thank you very much for that, Jim. They also do a poker night in there. All sorts of things going on at Oasis Route. Welcome to 561 Music. We have some very exciting news. You may have noticed that the podcast is being hosted from a different place. That place is the 561 Music School and Studio. Justin Hucker has changed the name of his school from Live Music Community to 561 Music School and Studio. We have joined forces and now everything has the same name. The podcast, the festival and the school are now all under the umbrella of 561 Music. If you've been listening to the podcast for a long time, you will know that every week in this spot, we used to do an ad for Live Music Community. Now, Live Music Community has become 561 Music. We are still on North Lake Boulevard, but we have moved to 524 North Lake Boulevard, Suite A, North Palm Beach, Florida. It is east from the old location, and boy oh boy is it an upgrade. We now have a studio that is far bigger and more advanced. Bigger lesson rooms and 3 big spaces for recording bands and practicing. We now offer more opportunities for recording your band and provide more practice space to hone your skills. The heart of 561 Music School and Studio is still tuition. We train both young people and adults one-on-one and also in groups to be real bands, teaching you how to play your instrument not only by yourself but with others as well. We help you learn to write and record a song, how to brand and market your band, how to design and produce merchandise, how to get shows, how to act at shows, how to perform, how to organize tours, how to reach out to labels, the ins and outs of protecting your intellectual property, and much more. 561 Music is a one-stop shop for all your music and performance-related needs. We are also set up to help you record music videos, how to manage social media, how to create content for social media, and everything that is required of a person trying to break into the music industry in 2025. Come by the studio at 524 North Lake Boulevard in North Palm Beach and check out the new digs. We are online at 561musicstudio.com. Fill out the form online and come for your free first trial lesson. We are open daily by appointment or just walk up and say hi. We're here most days of the week from 3 p.m. for walk-in inquiries. Come by. It's just so awesome, this new spot, and we're all incredibly excited.
Everybody sing.